Welcome back to the Reactors Summit. I am your host, Jacob Blunden, and we have a huge episode for you today. We chat with John Rocha and his team's incredible win over Top That, and I am joined by Matthew Kearns and Taylor Robinson as we dissect everything that happened in the Schmoedown this week. But before we get to the matches, I do have something that I want to address. Last weekend, like most people, I watched the Super Bowl. It was a great game, and I watched it at the same time as my friends over in the States. For those of you who can't tell by the accent, I'm Australian and live in Australia. Now, I bring this up because with 2 minutes to go, Tom Brady needs only one touchdown to win his 6th Super Bowl. With 2 minutes to go, everyone around the world saw the Philadelphia Eagles sack Tom Brady and caused him to fumble the ball. And Twitter blew up about it 30 seconds later. I blew up. I messaged my friends. I tweeted about it. Tom Brady just lost the ball. It was massive and an incredible moment. And I could share it with the entire community. Last weekend, Rachel Cushing wins her shot at the title. And I couldn't talk about it for 24 hours. I couldn't share that on an online space for fear of spoiling someone else's experience. We don't worry about those who can't watch the Super Bowl live and spoiling their experience. But with the Schmoedown, we do. I believe that for this sport to grow, and the movie trivia Schmoedown must start going live. At 2 p.m. PST every Tuesday and Friday, the movie trivia Schmoedown needs to be streaming on Collider Video as a live video. It can be shot and edited early. But it needs, at 2 p.m., it needs to be streaming in a live setting for a way for the community to watch it together and comment together and experience the moments together. Keen to know what you think about that. Use the hashtag Reactors Summit. I am joined now by Matthew and Taylor. Guys, Matt, I'm going to start with you. Am I crazy here in the idea that I want to be able to discuss the match without feeling as though I'm going to spoil it?
How am I supposed to follow that? I'm here, I'm ready to have fun, talk about it, and then Jacob gets all serious for a second. He's just like, guys, listen. He gets like his Oprah moment, like, Tom Brady sacked. Rachel Cushing won a match. Spoilers. Wow, left my thoughts here for this. I mean, this is something you and I have discussed off air several times, and I have on several occasions vehemently disagreed with you. I do see your point that there is something to be gained from doing the summits live and having it be, that you can talk about the matches as they happen. I don't know. That's how the Schmoedown started. For a lot of people don't know, the Schmoedown started as a part of the Schmoes Know live show, which, go figure, was live. So this is nothing new, but I think that the game has changed. The way I would do it is to start with, like, a celebrity match. Like, do one of the celebrity matches live is how I would do it, because we know people complain about spoilers. It definitely would help the community because we would be able to talk about the matches a little bit quicker. I think, we just have to be... I don't know, I think we just have to sort of... I like the idea. I like what could come from it. I just think we need to find a way to sort of ease into it instead of just immediately, just like next week, Snyder versus Ellis is live. You know what I'm saying? But that's just...
Yeah, and I understand that. My frustration, and it came again this week in both matches, because there is stuff that happens in these matches and you want to share it. You want to be like, oh my God, John, like, top 10 just got an all-time record and got a perfect round in the first round. Like, that you want to talk about that and you want to scream. Bruce Campbell was on the Schmoedown. You want to just scream it. And I couldn't talk to anyone about that because no one else had watched the match yet. And it was one of those things where I just feel as though if sport is not an on-demand thing, and that is my personal belief. I don't believe sport is on demand. It is a appointment viewing at 2 o'clock PST. This is where you want to watch this. This is where you be. Now, after that, it's free game. Anyone can watch it. Taylor, they do this with several of other of their shows. Do you think the Movie Trivia Schmoedown is a show that needs to have been aired live?
So I kind of can see both of your guys' points when it comes to this, because it would be really, really cool to have the community come together and watch it as a live event, as it streams live. But at the same time, I can see how that would cause maybe some problems, just because people are so used to the format we have now, where it gets posted and you watch it as you can. And for people like me who are always at work when it drops, it can be a little bit chaos just trying to figure out when I'm going to watch it. So if it were to be a live thing that I would always have to miss out on, I can see how that might be something that people might not be too fond of. But I'm definitely not against trying it out, having them slowly maybe integrate a few matches here and there where they stream it live and see how it works out, see if it's something that people enjoy, and then going for.
I just think one other big positive of this is something that I know personally I've made the mistake of while watching a match going into the comment section, which is a stupid idea. And even though when we watch them, the second they drop, people go forward and they just want to spoil the match for whoever they can. And this kind of would negate that, where at 8 o'clock, you don't know the ending until at least 8:40 or, 8 o'clock my time. So 2 p.m. you won't know the ending at least 2:30, quarter to 3. And that, I think, also forces people to watch the storylines. Something Christian really wants. And I think that could be a big, big benefit of this.
I do have a question here, Jacob, and maybe this is just more a personal thing, but how the heck would this help us at Take 3? Because you know how difficult it is for us to get a crew together for when a match drops at 5. Now imagine a match starts live, and then we all go, okay, we have a nice crew. Well, gotta wait until 6 o'clock when the match is done to record, I guess.
Well, we could just also stream it live.
We have a lot more reactors coming out this season. We've seen already. That just sort of affects that as well of, if you're not ready to record as it starts, you have to wait. And, we play this game too, whoever gets it up fastest.
I guess I'm coming from it from the perspective of this is a live sport. This is sport that we want to start considering this as a legitimate sport, and for a sport to go legit, it needs two things: it needs gambling, and it needs and it needs to be live. And they're the two things that make a sport legit. And I feel like this is one half of it, because you're never going to get the gambling part yet. Yes.
But we could add a third thing, which is drunken riots. Because if Riley comes back, I will go into my town and start a fire. I'll record.
Well, on that note, let's move on to the first match of the week with a recap from Dale the Dude.
What is going on, everybody? This is Dale the Dude Gibbs coming at you with another edition of Schmoedown Dude Talk. It's been such a crazy week for the dude, man. I moved into some new digs, you can probably see here, dude. And it's been such a hectic week, I did not get to make a video on the match between Top 10 and Top That, dude. And y'all know this was a match close to the dude's heart, because y'all know I'm Outlaw Nation, dude. I love me some John the Outlaw Rocha and Mighty Matt Nost, dude. Now, this match was supposed to be just a blowout, dude. If you asked anybody everybody on the street, oh, who's going to win this match? Everybody was saying, oh, top that. Oh, they got KOs and TKOs. They're just going to blow top 10 out the water. Well, I'll tell you something, dude. John Rocha and Matt Nose, they heard this, and they were like, what? Come on now, dudes. We still got some gas left in the tank. And I'll tell you what they did, dude. They showed up, and they set some records, and they matched some records, dude. Top 10 showed up, and within that first round, made Schmoedown history by being the first team in the Schmoedown to collectively, both teammates, get a perfect first round, dude. It was awesome. It was amazing to see, dude. And they went on to win the match by tying the all-time points record at 35 points set by Above the Line, dude. So I'll tell you something right now, dude. With this win, Top 10 gets to play the Patriots for the championship team belt, dude. And if there is one team in the Schmoedown who could take that belt from the Patriots, it is Top 10. Because what they did when they played Top That was made a statement. They made a statement, dude. They said, hey, we are not old news, all right? We're not around the block. We're not down the block. We are the block, dude. And I think with this match between Top 10 and the Patriots, we are going to see Top 10 take that belt from the Patriots. I cannot wait to see this match. We're all going to be on the edge of our seats, dude. Now, on to the match that dropped today, dude. That is Lon Harris, the professor. This dude, oh my, with his German expressionist films. Come on now, dude. Going up against Cody Hall, dude. This was another match. There was just supposed to be a landslide, dude. Oh, everybody was saying, oh, Lon Harris, he's just going to take this. Which, I mean, yeah, he did. But, like, nobody thought it was going to be this close, dude. Nobody thought it was going to be this much of a fight. Now, Cody Hall himself, even in the pre-interviews, he said, oh, if I even get 2 questions right, it'll be a miracle. Well, we witnessed a miracle today then, dude. Because Cody Hall not only got 2 questions right, he got a perfect first round, dude. That is 3 matches in a row this season. We have seen perfect first rounds, like the Schmoedowns just passing out perfect first rounds like gift certificates to Target, dude. It's crazy, dude. Now, Cody Hall even survived the wheel round spinning classics, which is like one of the worst categories even on the board, dude. But somehow tying it up 15-15 and brought it to sudden death. Dude, this is what the Schmoedown's about right here, dude. And then all that climax led to a horrible ending with, I mean, are you kidding me, dude? Sudden death, first question right out the gates, Lon Harris winning it on musicals. Musicals? Come on now, dudes. Musicals. Now listen, I'm okay with a musical question. Across the Universe, Moulin Rouge, any of those, dude. But what was this one about? Something about the signing of the Declaration of Independence called 1776. I don't even know what that is, dude. Sounds like a Schoolhouse Rock video, but I don't even know, dude. But Lon Harris was victorious in this match today. Very disappointing to see, dude. But it was awesome to hear the crowd in such support for Cody Hall, dude, because this was more of a win for him than I think he knows, dude. But what was weird is in those post-interviews, Cody Hall joining up with Lon Harris's faction, becoming, what did he say, like an acolyte? I don't even know what that word means, dude, but it don't sound good. I do not like what Lon Harris is doing. I think, dude, Lon Harris needs to be stopped, right? I mean, not as much as Dagnino, but he needs to be stopped. The dude does not tolerate evil in the Schmoedown, dude. But this was a crazy match today, dude. We got some crazy matches coming up in Season 5. That does include Dale the Dude, myself, going up against Ben Bateman, that disrespectful dude from Team Action, dude. But until next time, I'm Dale the Dude.
Thanks, Dale. Now, okay. On the last summit, I said some things about Top 10. I said they were a good team that would never make it to break into the ranks of an all-time great team on the Mount Rushmore of teams. This week, John Rocha and Matt Nost proved to the world and me just how good they are. It wasn't it wasn't perfect. Outside of round 1, which, wow, Top That gifted them arguably their most favored category. And despite a perfect round 1 from Top 10 and a pretty strong second round. Top that were able to manage to take them to the last question. But look, none of that matters. No, absolutely none of that matters, though. This week, Top 10 became the first team in Schmoedown history to get a double perfect first round. They became the first team outside the Patriots to participate in 3 title matches. If Top 10 can play to this level that they did today, they can bring the same intensity that they did to this match. The Patriots should absolutely be worried. Taylor, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of this match? I mean, you were there. What did you think of it?
Oh, wow. So this match, going into it, I didn't quite know what we were going to get, because in my book, Top 10 has always been a very strong team, but recently they've kind of been overshadowed by the newer strong teams that have been coming into the league. And I knew that this match was going to be really important for their future as a team going forward. Now, going into this match, I was a little afraid that we were going to kind of see Top That completely take the match, and that it was not going to go well for Top 10 just based on what we've been seeing recently. Now, being there and watching them both get a perfect first round as a team had me so incredibly pumped up and so 100% back into wanting to see Top 10 compete and wanting to see them at their best, and really, really just feeling like, yeah, they can do this. They can absolutely take those belts back if they want to. It was something that I could not believe that I was seeing as it was happening.
So I have to ask you, Matt, the question that is everyone's thinking. Can they do it? This is their third bite at the cherry. Can they beat the Patriots?
Well, here's the thing with Top 10 is they've always been a great team. They hit a little bit of a snag towards the end of last season. But you know what that story reminds me of? Reminds me of a man called Marchioti Riley. So, I don't know. It's possible, I mean, Matt knows some John Rocha, great thing, Marchioti Riley. But, I mean, anything is possible. I mean, the Patriots... The scary thing about the Patriots is they are such a strong team together that I can never count, whoever they go up against, no matter how strong of a match they have going in, I never will undoubtedly say that Top 10 is going to bring the belts back. It is possible. I mean, especially, GT and Snyder have held the belts for a while. One day, maybe they're going to lose it. I'm not sure this is this time. Because I think the other thing you have is Top 10 want to beat them. They really want to beat them. And you run into it, and we've seen this before in the Schmoedown a lot, where it's sometimes your brain is so focused on wanting to beat a competitor or team that you think yourself out of playing the game because you're more thinking of the outcome. Hopefully that's not the case here. Hopefully Top 10 plays a game like they did against Action at Spectacular, where they did want to beat Action, but they were more focused on the match, and they walked away with it. I think the Patriots are a team that you need, even though they've played them before, you need to sort of not leave the storylines out because it's great, but I mean, you have to go in just on top form against them because they are a team that has shown they're pretty difficult.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious, just to bring this one, where do you think Top 10 went so right in this match, where they've struggled to before in previously bigger matches, Taylor? Where did they go right this time?
Well, honestly, I think that a lot of it has to do with the way they approached this match this time, because Rocha was really emphasizing that before this match, he was very much spending his time getting his head into the correct headspace of where he needed to be focused and really just, centering himself before going into the match. And I think that a lot of the times when they were struggling before, they were too much in their head, or they were thinking too much about other aspects of the match, and it really just was not. They just weren't where they needed to be in terms of focus and headspace. And I think that really it wasn't even so much where they went right. It was the fact that they got, handed pretty much one of their strongest categories and were able to take off from there. I mean, I'm not trying to take away from what they did at all, because they played an incredible match and it was amazing to watch. But if they had been given something that was a weakness for them, the rest of that match really could have just tanked, depending on what they were given.
Matt, does that sit with top 10, do you reckon? The fact that their round 2 was very much kind of gifted to them, and is that something that the Patriots might play on and might abuse?
Listen, Tom Dagnew, I'm sure, was sitting there watching this match because, top that, watch matches. And I'm sure they're dead. They got smack talk prepared for round 2 for all the... That is something. You can't take away the game they played. But you also kind of have to add the fact of they got one of their best categories in round 2. And as we'll talk about in the next match of this week, sometimes you can have a really strong first round, but then if you get a category that you're not so good in opponent's choice, it can change the game. I definitely think this is something that Tom and Snyder and JT are going to jump on, because the other thing is, and I love Top 10. They're one of my favorite teams. But the other thing to know is they also can get really invested in the games, and the problem with that is that if the team they're playing gets into their heads in the game, that's affected things. We saw that in the last match they had against Patriots, in their first match against Action. Hopefully we get the Rocha and Nost we saw in this match against Top That, and I think they should be fine if they could just sort of block out the Patriots, which is difficult to do because the Patriots are very loud. But it's going to be an interesting title match for sure.
One last bit of thing that I would like to bring up with this is something that I have noticed a lot going into these matches, especially in round 3. Now, I don't think it's an insult to Matt Nost to say that John Rocha has a more broader knowledge of of trivia than Matt Nost does. I don't think that... look, Matt Nost played probably arguably his best game that he has ever played today. In this first round, I'm not saying Matt Nost is a bad competitor. He has constantly showed that he is an incredible competitor. But when compared to Rocha, I believe that Rocha is the more broader and more... He has a more wide range of film and TV trivia. Top 10 seem to be in this mindset, and they have done it a lot. Where in round 3, Rocha goes first, and then Nost. When you need 3 points to win, I think you need to give the guy who's got the more broader sense of knowledge and trivia, he needs to go have the 3-pointer question. And instead of risking that 5-pointer, because that 5-pointer is generally a deep cut. It is generally something that is a really, really deep cut. And having John do the 2-pointer just to give him that safe bet, and then that's a bit of a tough one, especially considering Nost would have probably known that first category. It was a category that he was kind of okay in, not incredibly strong in, but he still would have been okay to get that one. I think... Am I crazy here, Matt? Have you noticed that, or am I alone on this one?
Well, listen, Jacob. As someone named Matt with a K last name, I'm insulted for Matt Nost. Just putting that out there. Have you gotten a perfect first round? I don't think so. But regardless, the third round is always an interesting thing in every match, because it is literally the decider of a lot of matches we've seen lately, and especially in title matches, we see, well, round 5. I mean, Nost and Rocha, I guess maybe they got a good thing going, and maybe they think it's good luck to have it be like that. I think it does also come down to what is the category that they get first. You know, because that is the problem too, is you know what your round, you know what your 2-pointer is going to be, but you don't know what category 3-pointer is, and so it's, I don't know. Nost and Rocha are a lot better at movie trivia than me, so I guess if it works, you know, keep on doing it, but yeah, I don't know.
Taylor?
Yeah, it's an interesting question to ask, because a lot of that is just kind of down to chance, in hoping that 3-point category is going to be something that either one of them even know. Because if they give that first question, the 2-pointer, to Nost, and they know it's not a strong category for him, and they're just kind of taking a chance that maybe Rocha will know the 3-pointer, I mean, it's really tough, and I feel like so much of it is just down to chance, because they could go with the strategy of putting Nost first, because it's really tough. It really, really is. And I think that if they feel like they have a good strategy that's working for them right now, who am I to say that they should switch it around, you know?
Well, on that note, earlier this week, I was able to sit down with the Outlaw himself, Mr. John Rocha, and talk about his absolutely incredibly impressive performance in this match, and basically had to commit a very, very humble apology. I am sitting here with the Outlaw himself, John Rocha. Now, before we start this, I must apologize for my comments last week on the summit. You may have noticed I said some things about how top 10 were going to perform in this match, and I just very humbly wish to apologize. You proved me and everyone else wrong, and congratulations on such an incredible match.
Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate you being honest about your lack of faith in the top 10. It was surprising. Sorry, I'm so setting this thing up here. It was surprising to see you all do that, to lose faith, especially you who we thought was one of our biggest supporters. To have you turn on us was beyond shocking. But that's what happens when you're an old dog. The new kids, they want to run off to the bandwagon when they see any of the new kids come along. They're like, hey, they answer a bunch of questions correctly. We should jump on that bandwagon. I've seen it all. For a year and a half, 2 years of doing the Schmoedown, these new teams come in and these new teams go out. And so it's no surprise to me. And all these people complaining, oh, it's top 10 again, it's top 10 again. Hey, we earn our shots. We whipped the crap out of team action. And Andrew, of course, lost his control of his temper and attacked me and assaulted me, and that's what a child does when it doesn't get what it wants. It throws a tantrum. And then he got kicked out of the league for 3 months. And then everyone's like, oh, they're going to get smoked by Top That, Jim Bebeda, Eric. They know movies. And all we did was just focus in, Matt and I, focus in, and we walked through the door. And it's probably the most intense preparation I've ever had since the Triple Threat, because everyone was saying we were going to lose. So, Jacob, I'm not surprised that you drank the Kool-Aid. Eventually, your faith gets tested. I'm sorry, but you failed this time. So maybe next time, you'll have a little more faith in the top 10 team. Team top 10.
Oh yeah, title week is just around the corner, and I am. Oh yeah, I will. I know third time's the charm. All right, let's go. Before we get into the match, this is the first time I've had a chance to speak with you since one of the most infamous moments. You just referenced it in the Schmoedown, the tackle.
Oh yeah.
Can you just give our listeners just some insight? You've talked a lot about this moment inside the Schmoedown. Is there anything else now with some time and looking back and reflecting upon the tackle that you could add at all?
Well, all I can add is that Andrew seems to have not calmed down at all since the tackle. If you watch his comments on Twitter and on the social media, he's still angry. He's still upset. He's taking pictures of himself at a woman's prison or whatever that was. And so he's milking this thing for all he can get. And he's claiming that he gave us relevance. His team gave Team Top 10 relevance. There's a certain amount of humility that is missing from Team Action. And no matter how many times you beat him, unfortunately, these children don't get it. So, I see him milking it, and it does upset me sometimes because he's not learning his lesson. And it makes you wonder why I left him when I did, why I left his mom and him when I did. I mean, you should show you the report card. I'm going to put the report cards online one day, and it'll tell you what the teacher wrote in those report cards. Unteachable, out of control, emotional problem, unstable, violent tendencies. Constantly putting glue in his hair to make it look that way. There's so many issues with my son, Andrew Guy, we haven't done the paternity test yet, but so he keeps claiming I'm his daddy because I am his daddy because I spanked him like his daddy in that match. But the other thing is this, you always like to have a rivalry. So it's good to know that these guys are still hungry for it. We'll see what happens. We've got other business to take care of. Like I said, when I saw that video they did in the basement of their mom's house with that Nicolas Cage poster, public access shows are great, but losers stay home and watch us go for the titles, and that's what they're doing. And we got to focus on the match against the Patriots.
Fair enough, and that is a big match. But before we get to that one, let's talk about this one this week.
Yeah.
You said at the start, a lot of people counted you out, myself included. And you had a lot. You said you had a lot of preparation. This was the most intense preparation you've had for a match.
Yep.
So obviously you were feeling the pressure a bit for this match. Was the pressure getting to you a little bit with this match?
I think not so much the pressure. It's really strange, Jacob. It was excitement. It was the excitement I felt before we took on Blofeld's cat. When I am dialed in and I'm excited to play, to go toe-to-toe, to get in the ring, that bodes well for me. And so, Matt had a lot going on outside of the Schmoedown, and so there was a real chance that we weren't going to be able to do the match. And Matt at the last second was able to move things around, and he showed up, and I think there was an anger in Matt, a driven intensity. The thing is, Matt doesn't dial into the lunacy of the Schmoedown too much. He stays above it a little bit. But when people question him, when they question our knowledge of movies, it really irks him. And I think after we took care of Team Action and all that stuff going on, and people were mad that we had won the match, then they were mad we were getting a number one contenders match, because they hold on to their darlings above the line in MODOK, who, by the way, we beat already, MODOK. They hold on to their darlings, and they're like, well, how come they're not getting a shot? Why is the team top 10? Because we earn our shots, and we beat the teams that are put in front of us. And so we didn't initially ask for the number one contenders match, and we were actually happy to take a match before this number one contenders match to get our revenge. We took out Team Action, and then we took out Team Top That. And I came in, I didn't even know I wasn't going to take off the mask. And like I said, I do things very organic, man. Like the blindfold thing was a last second thing. Putting on the mask and then keeping the mask on through the whole match was really just a last second thing. As I was sitting there, I just felt so dialed in and focused, and I felt confident that we were going to give them a hell of a match. Whether we were going to win or not, you never know. But I felt we were in the right headspace to take them on and take them out, and the mask really helped me. It was, in essence, kind of a pseudo blindfold in that way. And all props to Matt for not giggling or not getting, thrown off by it. He knows how intense I can be, and whatever it takes me to focus in, he's very good about creating the space for it.
Yeah. So when was the decision that I'm going to walk out again with the mask and I was going to wear it? So when you were sitting at the table, that's when you decided I'm not taking this thing off.
Yep. When I was sitting at the table. I mean, I was always planning to walk out with the mask. But yeah, sitting at the tables when I said, no, I'm here. and I'm here. And I was just like really just kind of just this the whole time, just kind of very much like in the right space, ready to handle the swings, the ups and downs. And, you know, I talk about this a lot. I ride the wave of the Schmoedown when I'm in the match. I always sense when I've got a shot to win and when I might lose. And it's really weird. It's an organic thing within me that I'm able to touch the waves, the emotional waves that are happening in a match. And I think that not a lot of people have that ability to sense stuff that's happening. And so it's good and bad, because when I know I've got a shot, I don't ever lose confidence. But when I feel like I might lose, my confidence is like on the edge from the first round on. And that's what happened the second time we played the Patriots. I wasn't dialed in. As soon as I missed that Pinocchio question, I was like thrown off. And you saw that with Kalinowski. He missed a couple of easy questions in that first round, and he was done. He was cooked. And that happens sometimes mentally. So I knew for this match, I couldn't get too high, couldn't get too low, kind of like I did the second match with Mance. And that triple threat match, I knew I had to be where I was. And the mask, for whatever reason this time around, just felt like the right thing for me to have on my face as we took on Team Top That.
Let's talk about that first round, because it will go down in Schmoedown history as one of the greatest first rounds ever by single or team match. This was an incredible performance. At what point did you realize we could do this? When did you start to realize that we could actually get to both of us having 9 points?
Look, it'd be nice to say, oh, I was aware of it or whatever. But to be honest with you, I knew we were going to need to score as many points as possible. So in my mind, the first round was like, we'll see. Every question that was asked, we'll see if I know it. We'll see if I know it. We'll see if I know it. And then when we got to, when we finished out the round and both Matt and I had gotten all the questions right and we were going into the bonus question, for me, I felt like we were playing with house money. I just felt the questions kind of just hit us at the right time, and we knew all the stuff. And I don't think either one of us was like necessarily surprised that we got them all right. I think we were just so focused that, of course we did. Of course we did. And that's kind of something that, you know, I'm not trying to be cocky or arrogant. That's legitimately what my mind was telling me when we got there. Of course we did. And when the bonus question came up, I didn't want to miss this one because I'd had a perfect round before in another match and missed the bonus question. I knew we were going to need the bonus questions. So I was more happy for us than like knew we were going to do it, or like I just was happy for us. And I think that was the number one thing. You know, I wasn't nervous. I was more happy that we did it, you know. It's another record in the Outlaws, another record. So
yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Round 2 starts. Round 2, you've got opponent's choice. Top that. Look, people have said online. I even alluded to it in the summit this week that you got a little lucky with what Top That gave you. It doesn't take away from this match. I'm not saying it takes away from it, but what's going through your mind when you spin opponent's choice? And that's another match where you guys are unfortunate enough to spin opponent's choice.
Yeah, but if you watch when he spins it, I don't get I just shake my head, go, okay, bring it. And that's what it was. Like the whole match was very much a fight, a battle. And I knew you couldn't get too high and you couldn't get too low. So the mistake I did, I betrayed where I was focus-wise, and in the waves of the match, the rhythm of the match, I looked up at the wheel. If you notice, I don't look up at the wheel until the very end. And I wasn't going to look up at the wheel, and I betrayed myself in that moment. And I fully believe, and this is my craziness, I fully believe that if I had stayed staring at the table, we would have rolled a great category and we'd have knocked it out. But I looked up, and right as I looked up, it hit opponent's choice, and I was like, damn it, why did you look up? But then I just shook my head or nodded my head and said, yep, bring it on. And if you notice, I'm just staring at the table till they select the category. When they said biopics, I didn't go, I didn't go, oh, I got it. I just was like, all right, let's see what comes up, because I knew I had gotten that so many times. There's only so many questions that I thought were left in that. So I was more like, well, we'll see if I can get all these right. Or Matt and I can get all these right, rather. So.
Again, this was such an incredible match. You guys, round 3, again, you managed to come in and take the win away from, you dominated the entire match. It was fantastic to watch.
Thank you.
Today we got confirmation that you have a certain live match coming up against a former a certain Patriots member, and the bit of a rivalry that you two have together. Can you give us any hints about this live match coming up against you and JTE?
Well, what can I tell you? JT is right. He has beaten me every time he's faced me. It's only ever been in teams, but he has certainly beaten me every time he's faced me. And of course, I don't count any of those movie fights because that was subjective, and we know what happened to the judge of those fights. So enough said there. So for me, this is a great challenge. And there's a very real possibility that I will lose to JTE. But I'm not the outlaw if I don't take on these challenges. I'm not the outlaw if I don't test myself. You know, Christian's always like, do you want to play the bigger guys? And I'm always like, yeah, if it makes sense, I want to play the bigger guys. And with JTE, you know, he is a comeback player of the year, in my opinion, last year, even more so than Sam. I know Sam won it, but I really have respect for what JTE did. No one else had fallen as low as JTE did, and to come back and do what he did and have a shot at going for the title is pretty amazing. So the guy knows his movies, he knows his stuff. He seems to get osmosis from Snyder in terms of his knowledge as well. So he's very prepared, and I know that April helps him. I've watched April write down movies on the sidelines because she's looking for patterns and rhythms, probably with JT's suggestion and her own initiative as well. What movies does Skaliski like? Because he's picking a majority of the questions. What movies does he like? So they rewatch these movies over and over again. So I respect that. That's the thing I respect, right? If you do the work and do the research and study and do whatever, then you are a worthy opponent in Schmoedown to me. If you make fun of the game, make fun of the questions, make fun of the opponents, make fun of the people in the Schmoedown, you can fuck off, in my opinion, because this is a great game and people love to play it. And if you're going to make fun of it, get the hell out of our studio. If you want to come and play, then show that you belong and show that you're willing to do the work. And JT has. That's why he bounced back. He knew he was embarrassed by those losses he had, and he focused in. So for me, it's a great challenge. And it's a toss-up in my opinion, because it all depends on categories, and that's. I think the second round is going to decide everything. You know, because I've seen JT bounce back from a bad first round, so it's not going to matter. And people have seen me bounce back from a bad first round or even a bad second round. So everything's up in the air, and it's going to be a blast to play him, and an incredible challenge, So I'm looking forward to it, and it's live. So there's another pressure of that. You know, I don't know if JT's ever done stuff live. I'm an actor. I've done stage, Hollywood, performing in monologues or one-act plays, so I'm aware of the space. But it's going to be a whole nother animal when you have Schmoedown fans cheering their brains out, and any little miss. I mean, our studio crowd is like 20, 30 people. When you get an easy question, it's like, you know, imagine what that's going to be like with like 300 people in the auditorium or 200 people. It's going to be even more pressure. So the goal is to be as focused as possible and as relaxed as possible, and to ride the waves as smoothly as possible.
Absolutely. I do want to just end on this question. We've heard that this season specifically is going to focus a lot more on building inner geekdom. I know that Christian is trying to build inner geekdom a lot. Will we see the Outlaw in inner geekdom sometime this year?
Well, like I said at the beginning of this interview, I'm an organic person. If my desire to be in the inner geekdom becomes a very powerful thing within me, then yes, you will see me. And I will sit there and I will watch all the movies, and I will memorize everything, and I will write down stuff as I watch them, and I will get them in my head so I'm able to recite them. And that's going to be what it's going to take. Now, there's a lot of great competitors in inner geekdom already. And of course, you know, Jason Inman is incredible, an incredible champion. Hector Navarro was a great champion. Robert Meyer Burnett was a nice champion at the beginning. You've got great competitors in there. There's rumors about a certain champion who might want to get in there down the road. And and then you've got Rachel Cushing, who cannot be. I mean, Rachel Cushing has a real shot to hold all 3 belts in her life at the same time, with Inner Geekdom, with the singles championship, and with this super team she's built with Clark Wolf. The Shire Wolves are the new, like, that's a team that deserves your attention and consideration for being a future champion. Not these new teams that come in and have 1 or 2 good matches. Like the Shire Wolves are built from 2 All-Stars. So there's a real possibility that they will just mow down the competition because they complement each other so well. So I am certainly interested in the Inner Geekdom. I certainly want to test myself, if nothing else. And I know nothing would irritate my haters more than having Rocha walk into the Inner Geekdom, or having the Outlaw walk into the Inner Geekdom and start winning matches in the Inner Geekdom and beating their favorite players and having them cry about it. Nothing would be better for me. Listen, face or heel, I'm still the Outlaw, all right? So I do what works and what's best for me, and when it's available to me, I go get it, and I'm driven to get it. And so if the Inner Geekdom becomes something I really want, then I'm going after it. And there aren't as strong Inner Geekdoms on the lower rungs of the ladder as they should be. So there are people I can beat to get my stats up to a point where I can face one of the true powerhouses in the Inner Geekdom. So I look forward to the challenge if my desire to it becomes powerful within me.
So I do just want to shout out real quick. Matt Nost proved all of his doubters and absolutely anyone who has doubted him completely wrong this week. He played sensational, easily one of the best matches we've ever seen him play. Agreed.
I don't know why he still has haters. It's insane to me. Matt has saved us so many times in matches that many of the fans out there don't know. And maybe it's because he hasn't become a singles champion or whatever, but Matt is an incredible teammate. And, I know there was talk about possibly breaking up in the team action match, but Matt won this in the contracts. We are going to whip those babies' asses, and we are going to win that match and then go on to the next match. Don't sweat it. There's no way we're breaking up. There's no way we're losing to those guys. And so that's what Matt brings to the team, is an unwavering confidence in us. And so, yes, I was really happy that he killed that first round and then got the bonus question as well. I just wish all these Nost haters would shut the hell up once and for all. Because Matt, he got us in the second round. He's the one that got the leg one with Men of Honor. That was 2 points. And he knew Luke Perry. That's 2 points. So everyone's like, oh, Biopics Rocha. But Matt gave us 4 points in that match, and that matters in that second round. And then we conversed on Pig. I made him go to multiple choice on Pig Vomit because he was convinced it was Pig Fuck. And I was like, no, I know it's not that. Let's just go to multiple. So to his credit, he goes, okay, we'll go to multiple choice. And we got it. And then with Sam Mendes, with Jarhead, we conversed on that and got it. So those are the things. Like we do what needs to be done, and Matt is fantastic, and he's really good. But this is where we're at now. We've been around so long that we have generated a very strong contingent of haters who hate me personally, or hate Matt personally, or hate the Team Top 10 personally, and are just sick of seeing us all the time. But if your teams won, you wouldn't be seeing us, would you? So when I say this right back at you, cry for all your little teams. But if your teams keep blowing it at critical moments, don't blame us because we don't. So that's what I say to them. So to all the haters of Matt Nost, haters of the Outlaw, haters of Team Top 10, that's the message for you. We're still here, baby, and we're still kicking. And Matt Nost is a huge reason why we're still here and we're still kicking. And he's the one that knew that 5-point question with Pixar. He is an animation guru. And so when we get those categories, I no longer feel nervous about it because I know Matt's got it. So it's great to have him as a teammate. And he deserves all the love and credit he's getting, and he should get more as we go along.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Rocha.
My pleasure, man.
Well, thank you, John Rocha, for that interview and providing some absolutely incredible insight. Let's move on to the other match of this week, Lon Harris versus Cody Hall. This was a match that not many people understood why it was happening, let alone understood exactly how it was going to go and whether and how Cody was going to perform. And by God, did Cody perform in this match.
What an incredible experience. Taylor, you were there. I'm going to jump to you. Explain it.
Okay, I'm going to do my best to break this down for you guys because I still can't really comprehend what was happening in that room during that match, because you can hear in the video, the official match video, very clearly that everyone wanted Cody to win. You can hear the Cody chants, you can hear Cobster screaming and yelling, rooting for Cody, but actually being in that room was insane. I'm pretty sure every single person sitting in that audience, and probably every member of the crew, was rooting for Cody. And we were all just so pumped and so full of energy. And just, I think we were all just hoping that all of our energy and enthusiasm for Cody would just like will him into winning because we were so excited about it. And yeah, so we were all sitting there kind of just really not sure what we were about to see because it's been a really long time since we've seen Cody compete, and he's only competed once. So none of us knew what we were going to get here. And going into it, the more questions that Cody kept getting right in that first round, as soon as Lon got one wrong that Cody got right, everyone lost their minds, completely lost their minds. And then it kept happening, and it got to that last question, and we all knew that there was no way Cody was going to miss that last question. So we all got to watch him join the Perfect First Round Club, and then we got to watch him completely throw out a guess and get all 9 questions right. And everyone lost their dang minds. We all looked at each other and were like, what is this real? Are we in a real life situation? Like, what is going on here? and no one quite knew what to do, and it was fantastic and amazing. And then going into that second round was crushing, seeing him, feel defeated, getting that opponent's choice slice, and you could just see that everyone was kind of losing all of that enthusiasm that we had in round one, just like, oh man, this is really, really bad. And then watching him still hold his own through that, and getting to the end of the match where once again we all in the crowd looked at each other and were like, this could go to sudden death. We could watch this go to sudden death in a match where everyone was convinced that Cody was going to be out by like the first round. So I can't even begin to try to describe to you how we were all feeling in that moment. Looking at Christian Harloff while this match was happening was the greatest experience of my entire life.
I really wish they had a reaction cam just for Christian, just hit Christian's face, just being like, what is going on? Again, look, I was called crazy. I was called absolute crazy on the reaction, and going in this week saying, okay, this is where I got my prediction somewhat correct. Look, I picked Cody Hall to win this. I picked Cody to win this because the last time that we had a guy who had played an absolutely incredible debut against and absolutely was really, really impressive, and the next season he played someone that everyone thought he was going to wipe the floor with, we got Bibiani versus JTE. Now, so that was in my head. I'm like, look, I think Cody Hall actually is going to win this. And history repeats itself. I was very excited at the end of round one. And I was going like, yes, Cody's going to win this. Cody's going to win this. And then opponent's choice happened. And it would be interesting to think where, because I don't think he loses if he doesn't get opponent's choice. But this was very much we got the mindset of someone who knows the game. And who knows the game very well and knew that, all right, I'm 4 points in front. Now, this might not have actually been what goes through his head, but he was 4 points in front. Though at absolute worst, at the end of his round, Lon would be tied with him. And then he would have to spin. So he was smart about it and just did 4 multiple choices. didn't gift Lon any extra points that he possibly could. And then when Lon got a category that he wasn't the strongest in, Cody was able to capitalize a bit. So I thought this was a match that, despite Cody losing, he just made a name for himself within the Schmoedown, and I think he very much is definitely coming back. Matt, what were your thoughts on this match?
Two things. One, I'm the one who put that JT Bibiani thing in your head, credit where credit's due, on last week's Summit. You can all hear it. I have video proof of doing something. Also, why are you making me follow the host and the person who was actually there? I mean, that's just scheduling things, I guess. I mean, my first thing about this match is, Cody, I love Space Jam. Thanks for repping, but dude, Spider-Man, come on, it was gift wrapped. Just come out as Tom Holland. Sorry. Listen, I kind of thought Cody was gonna win this as well, because not just the Bibiani JT thing, but also just Cody engineers every match. He is there for every single match, and maybe you can say, like, I mean, that's just constantly hearing, like, movie trivia. It kind of just sticks in your head, and also knowing how the game works, he sits there and he works, and he follows along every match. I think round two, if Lon and Cody had switched, I would have been interested to see that, because Cody definitely knew, like, all of those family films was his category, if I'm not mistaken. He knew pretty much all those. It's just awesome to see someone who, and this is just a thing for Schmoedown in general, it's great to see the people who we all, well, not all, but most people guarantee that, they're going to be out in the first round. They're going to get KO'd so fast, this, that, and the other thing, that they can prove people wrong. It's great. Yeah, Cody is now 0-2. But after this, if I'm Christian Harloff, I'm giving Cody a match with an RB3 or something. You know, like someone who's 0-1 right now. Because Cody kind of proved that he should be taken seriously, even if he didn't know why he was playing this match. But, you know.
So, that is okay. There were two storylines that birthed out of this match, which was Lon Harris seems to be, I don't know, like, his post-match interview was a little weird, because he came across as though he was trying to set up a new faction, or at the same time just trying to beat the Wangers, or I wasn't quite sure where he's going with Lon Harris as the professor. I'm not quite sure what his game plan is. Like, Taylor, can you add anything there?
I mean, from what it looks like, because yeah, it's not 100% clear at this point really what he's trying to do, what his end goal is here, but it seems like he is trying to build up a faction of the people that he beats in competition. It seems like he's trying to beat a bunch of people with potential that have not really competed or have only competed like one time, and he wants to be the professor. He wants to get a faction of students that he defeats and then can kind of teach how to compete, I guess. I don't really know. That seems to be where he's going, though.
Matt, where do you think the Lon Harris storyline goes from here?
Lon Harris, it's great he chose the professor to be his name, because he reminds me of every batshit crazy professor I've had in college. You go and you read their syllabus, which I love that he posted what his actual syllabus said, and you go, what am I supposed to get out of this course? What? I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to build a new faction? I don't know why you would. And this is Copster, I love you. Cody, I love you. I don't know why you would want to build a faction whose combined singles record in losing is Mark Riley's singles record in winning. I I wouldn't understand why you would want to do that, but I mean, you do you, Lon. Just can you clue us into what you're doing? That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. So all right, the other storyline that birthed out of this match was, where does Cody Hall go from here? Matt, you suggested RB3, but is there anyone else who you think would make a really interesting first round match?
Well, I mean, RB3, I went just more for RB3 right now. He was the first 0-1 person I could think of. Me, Tom Dagnino would be a fun one. I would like to see Tom Dagnino versus Cody Hall. Just for that match alone, that's a Patreon match right there. Like, that's just a fun, crazy match. I just want to... Oh my god, now I want this to happen. All right, that's my answer right there.
So, Taylor, who do you think is Cody Hall? Who should Cody Hall play next?
Man, see, that's tough because I don't really know who I would put Cody Hall against next, because he is in an interesting position where he did so much better than everyone expected him to do, but his record still isn't fantastic. So, I mean, I'm totally on board with this Tom Dagnino thing now. Now that Matt said this, I really want to see this happen, because that would be, even if it was just a train wreck of an actual match in movie trivia, it would be the most entertaining thing since the Wild Berries, okay? I would be 100% about this match. Absolutely.
It would absolutely be an incredible match. I mean, look, a lot of us want the Josh McCougar match versus Cody Hall. After this one, look, after this match today, I think you kind of maybe should really, really consider it, because Josh, like,
the only problem that you come into is records. That's my only thing, is records. You run into that problem.
If Lon Harris has proven anything this season, it's the records don't matter for really anything now.
Lon Harris was 1-0.
And now he's 2-0.
And he's playing someone 0-1. That's not a new thing.
But now he's 2-0 and he's going to go up against Hobster. I would be shocked. Knowing the Schmoedown, I would be shocked that would be in a post-match interview without it being confirmed. I would be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked if that is not building to possibly happening.
It's possible. I just don't. And again, this is not really. I would love to see. Of course, I want to see Josh McCougar. But my thing is just, we've seen multiple times there, which that was even a question with McCougar, is who can he play now, just given his record. We started to sort of see it with JTE in the 2016 season. The people he was playing adjusted from the beginning of the 2016 season to the end, given his record. It's the reason why he was able to play Bibiani at the beginning of last season. That's my one thing. Listen, new season, new rules. If they want to change that, go right ahead. Give the fantasy updates match. But I don't know. I'm not making the rules, because if I was, Mark Riley would be like 20-0 right now.
Well, on that note, let's go to Matthew Kearns with his fantasy update.
Hey guys, Matt here with your Take 3 fantasy updates. Alright, so the first thing to talk about is going to be the Take 3 league standings. In first place, we have Team Corgi with 70 points. Now, Team Corgi has both Matt Nost and John Rocha, so that top 10 match definitely helped a lot, especially that first round. Team Corgi's was in good standing. In second place, we have Team Skywalker with 38 points. Now, Team Skywalker was able to draft Rachel the Crusher Cushing, who, of course, won the Triple Threat #1 Contenders match. Rachel Cushing was, of course, a great pickup, especially going into a title match. Third place, we have Team Sex Talk with 20 points. And in fourth place, we have That Movie Geek with 17 points. In fifth place, we have Morton Jen's Schmo Boys with 9 points. Now, 6 and 7 spot, we have the Penguins and Tiny Carrots, but neither one of those teams, competitors, have played yet, so they're both at 0. Alright, it's very early on in the season, so, we're going to see this definitely go through a change. Alright, now the next thing to go over in the fantasy updates is going to be Take 3 trades. Now, we've only had one trade so far, which is Chris Clark with Team Penguins traded Dan Merle for Robert Meyer Burnett. Now, a lot of people's first thought would be, that was the most Chris Clark thing you could have possibly done. You traded the former 2-time champ for Robert Meyer Burnett. Now listen, in defense of Clark, Dan Merle is, for all intents and purposes right now, a completely inactive player. He has shown no signs, and there's been no word from Christian Harloff or Thad Williams that Dan Merle will be making return anytime soon. Robert Burnett, on the other hand, is someone who has a place in the Interdictum League. Also, we saw during that Fatal 5-Way last season, he could possibly be making a run for singles this year. And despite his teammate dropping him at the end of last season, Robert Burnett is the type of person who could easily find himself another teammate and get back into team leagues. So this is actually a smart trade on Chris's behalf. Alright? So, those are the Take 3 fantasy updates. I'm Matt Kearns. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Matt, for the fantasy update. We finally got confirmed some of the big match that was coming next week. Now, Christian announced last week that we had an Inner Geekdom match, a special match, and then Snyder versus Ellis with an undercard beforehand. We now know that the special match that is airing on Thursday, is Ash versus Evil Dead, with Whitney and Robert Meyer Burnett. Whitney and John Schnepp playing each other. Chris, that would have just made Chris Clark's absolute day. He just would have gone nuts if that was the actual video. But Whitney versus John Schnepp, they're on Heroes together. So I get them mixed up sometimes. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Matt, let's start with you. A Ash versus Evil Dead celebrity match. Did you freak out? Did you also freak out when you saw Bruce Campbell?
I got one thing to say about this match. Groovy. Of course I freaked out. It's Bruce freaking Campbell. He came out and was like, oh my god, it's the announcer from Spider-Man. Which I'm sure is what most people said. Not most, but I'm sure let's call it like it is, the Evan DeGraffs who watch the Schmoedown probably go, it's the guy from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, not Evil Dead. They don't even know what Ash is. This is awesome. I mean, I was a little upset that Bruce Campbell isn't in the match, but the fact that he's probably going to be calling the match, unless that would be really funny if literally the only thing he did in connection with this match was that one thing. He's nowhere involved in the rest of the match, which would actually be classic Bruce Campbell, and I'd be like, you know what? That's pretty cool. Because it's like Congo. He shows up for like the first 5 minutes, and then he's gone, but he's in the opening credits. Yeah, this is awesome. I don't watch Ash vs. Evil Dead because I don't really watch TV that much, but I do watch the Evil Dead movies, and more Bruce Campbell on the internet is just something we need. Also, Whitney versus John Schnepp, it's going to be, I hope Clark is on this reaction because it's just going to be fun to see Clark get really happy when Whitney gets an answer correct and get really happy if John Schnepp misses an answer. like you need to like win the whole tournament to still be considered a top contender. Mark was able to. Right now, I'm talking about two Marks. Riley was able to do it, and he got the belt back, and he was able to climb out of that. This match is an important first step for Ellis if he wants to do that. Just in not just even getting another win on your record, but also just beating Snyder would also sort of propel you, because Snyder, his singles record may not be like super, super awesome, but like Snyder is, I will say, he's one of the strongest players we have in the Schmoedown. There's a reason why he's one half of the year-long champs. If Ellis is able to beat him, it works out, but Snyder is scary. Snyder is a scary guy when it comes to the Schmoedown. So I wish this was a match where I could easily just be like, yeah, Ellis has this. He's going to win. It's going to be great. But I can't say it because Snyder has gotten close to that belt. Snyder would love to be the first person to hold both belts. We know this. So you got both of that going into this. It's going to be a insane match that I think is very important for both competitors going on in this season.
Absolutely. I'm of the very look. I think Ellis does miss out on this one. I think Snyder does beat Ellis. I don't think it's a whitewash. I don't think it's a flogging. I don't think it's an embarrassment. I think it is a very tight, well fought match between both people, and it ends with Snyder winning. I think that is look. We started this year. Last year was the year of the villains. It very much was. This year so far has been the year of the heroes. I mean, look, Cody Hall is the one who walked away from that match as the better competitor. Lon Harris won, but Cody Hall walked away looking as though he was the better competitor. Top 10 walked away with their win. Rachel beat JTE. The good guys so far this season have been winning. I don't think we're going to see that again next week. I think Snyder is the first villain. And also Snyder getting back that, no, I'm better than JTE. Now, I know that that's not, I know that that isn't the divide that is inside the Patriots that everyone's talking about and everyone's going, oh my God, they're going to have a divide and they're going to hate each other. Like, I don't want that. I don't want a storyline to be the reason the Patriots break up. I've never wanted that because they are too good of a team. But right now, JTE has that over Snyder, and I think that you're going to start see Snyder wanting to claw that back and getting back to JTE and Snyder absolutely being the top two competitors that they are. And I think this is a match where the villains will win and the heels will regain, especially the Lions, and will regain a lot of their confidence and a lot of their bravado. Let's lastly move on to the big announcement that Christian made the other day. He put this up on Facebook on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown page. If you are not part of the Movie Trivia Schmoedown page, make sure you go check it out because there is a lot in there that Christian does reveal, and you get a lot of the information a lot earlier than you would expect. So, March 15th, if you live in the Los Angeles area, there will be a live Schmoedown event for you to attend. No details yet have been really announced about what that entails and what is actually going to be in the and like costs and where and locations and all that. That hasn't been revealed yet. That will be coming soon. But he has revealed who will be playing in the two matches you will be seeing. We will be seeing Real Rejects versus the Wildberries. And as our undercard to the main event, JTE versus John Rocha. I can only assume that this is for the next step to go up to play probably the loser of Rachel Cushing versus Sam Levine. I can only assume that. This wouldn't be a number one contender shot, but it would be the path to a number one contenders. What is interesting, though, what I do think is interesting, Rocha needs 3 wins. He still has not gotten 3 wins in a row. So could this be his first win, 3 wins in a row? JTE needs probably, I reckon, 1 or 2 wins to get another number 1 contender shot. Taylor, I'm going to start with you. This live event, someone who's most likely able to get out there out of the 3 of us. How you going to go, and what do you think of the match?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying I think it's a great match. I think that it's really going to be a heck of a battle between those two. And having that one be a live event is going to be crazy. I think people are going to go crazy for that and absolutely are going to want to go out and see that. And the fact that you also get the Wildberries and the Real Rejects on top of that, first of all, that match is going to be hilarious. And if I can't make it out for that match, I'm going to be really disappointed, because getting to see Greg and John play against the Wildberries would absolutely kill me. It would be the best experience in the whole world. So I really think that it's promising to start off with a live match situation that way, by starting off with Real Rejects versus Wildberries, having fun with it, having a match that I feel like a lot of people have kind of been asking for and have been wanting to see, and then finishing it off with a JTE versus Rocha, where it's really, I feel like there's going to be a lot of tension there storyline wise, and it's really going to be a match that both of them are very, very much fighting for. And I think it's going to be a great environment for anyone that can make it out for those matches.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, what are your thoughts on this match, and how do you think and are you going to try and get out there for it?
Well, plane flights are expensive and every East Coaster is crying. So that answers question 1 for you. Probably going to be on the reaction for that one, because I won't see it live. Just going to say. I mean, yeah, this is awesome. And I mean, yeah, the Real Rejects versus Wildberries, that's going to be hilarious. There's going to be boos out the wazoo, I'm certain of, on both ends, which is going to be great. And then you get Rocha versus JTE, which is going to be, I mean, I don't know how you do promos and trash talking live, but I can't wait to see that, because the other thing is, and a lot of people forget this, is something JTE likes to hold over John Rocha is John Rocha has never beaten JTE in anything. Schmoedown matches, movie fights. He's never beaten him. He holds that over him. We saw this happen at Collision, where Dan Murrell had a similar thing with Rocha, where Dan Murrell had never beaten Rocha in a teams match, a singles match. So this is just great for storylines, and this is just going to be an insane match. And the other thing I like is someone, fellow East Coaster, tweeted at Harloff about it, just was a similar thing. And Harloff said, I'm paraphrasing the tweet here, but like, he's hoping that if this works, maybe they can do more of this, and maybe they can get out, from Burbank and come over to my neck of the woods, because plane flights to Burbank are expensive. So fingers crossed that this just means more great things for the Schmoedown, and if not, I mean, this is just going to be an awesome 2 matches to watch.
Yeah, I mean, well, that being said, plane tickets from the East Coast to Burbank are expensive. Yeah, try Australia. Try all the way over here, and that gets a little expensive. But no, look, I'm excited. I think this is going to be an incredible matchup. I think we could very easily, right now I'm at a coin toss. I'm hoping I don't, because right now we don't know when Title Week is. I'm hoping that this match is after Title Week. I'm really hoping this is after Title Week, because then it will be, because then we will have seen Patriots versus Top 10 And I think that would be amazing to witness, and this will be the first time they have seen each other. If it's pre-title week, okay, fair enough. I can understand that. But this will be the perfect appetizer to the top Patriots versus top 10 3. So that will be interesting. But right now I'm at a coin toss on who wins this one. Guys, make sure if you are in the LA area, or if you can get to the LA area by March 15th, go check this out. The only way that we can support the Schmoedown more, other than outside of the Patreon and just by watching and views and the like, go to these live events. Because if you go to these live events, you are essentially telling Christian and Collider and everyone, I want more of these. And they will deliver. If they get enough demand, they have said they want to deliver. They just need to know that there's a... So go there and make sure you let them know. I want to thank my guests today. Matthew Kearns, where can the good people find you online?
Oh, thank you, Jacob. You guys can always find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMovie611 on YouTube, host of Second Look right here on Take 3, and on the Reactions and the Summit all the time because, like I just said, plane tickets to Burbank are expensive, so I can't fly out to see any of these live events, so I'm always react.
Taylor, where can the good people find you online?
Oh man, so at Finally Tailored on Twitter and YouTube, and Instagram is _Finally Tailored, and you can also find me occasionally popping up on Take 3, so watch out for that.
All right, and you guys can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Jacob Blunden, and on Letterboxd, where I do all my movie reviews. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this week's Summit. We will be back next week for a huge episode. We have 4 giant matches to cover next week. It's going to be a big one. So make sure you check that out. I want to thank John Rocha for sitting down and talking with us. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Until then, guys, my name is Jacob Blunden. Take care.